Alright everyone, it's time to draft our bodies. We're here, so we'll be taking the bodies measurements. From my measurements class, you see we have front length is 16, back length is 15, front width is 12, back width is 13, shoulder is 15 and 4.5, bust is 36.5, BP is 9.5, BP to BP is 7.5, under bust is 12.5, waist is 31, and depth of side is 8. I will show you how to apply all these things as we draft the pattern.
Copy.
So first and foremost, the front length is 16. We are going to draw the first front length. But before you do that, you need to divide the bust and the waist into 4 equal parts. So we'll take the front length measurement 16 by 1/4 of the bust. That is 9.1. That's the first stroke after 9 inches. So this is the front. Here is the center, here is the shoulder line, and this is the waistline. So you label this place CF, center front, your center front line. You leave out 1 inch on this side so that will create the back. If you notice, our front length is 1 inch longer than the back length. So you measure the back length 15. So here is going to be 15. Okay, so no, let's do it from here. Here is going to be 15. From the top here is 15. I like to use the sides of the paper to do the border lines of the center front and the center back. So 1/4 of bust is 9.1. So it's going to be by 9.1 also. 9 pointers. On this line we have the 15. And we have 9.1 also. So it's right on the mark. So you rule. So that means this demarcation was actually not necessary in the first place. So we'll go this way and we'll go this way. So this is the back, center, back. So normally you always had 1/4 inch to whatever measurement of bust, 1/4 bust that you get for the front, for purpose of ease, so that it doesn't press the breast down. So you add it to it. That's 1/4 of an inch. You add it. So like this one is 1 point. I think the third line after 9 is what we'll have here. So it is 1/4 of an inch wider than the back. So we are going straight to depth of side. Depth of side is where our armhole is going to pass, and I explained that in our measurement class. So our depth of side is 8. I like to do 2 extremes and join with a long ruler. You have a straight line. To this point and this to this point. So we have your depth of side already. That is where your armhole is going to come through. Next, we are going to take the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 15. And half of 15, this one is 15, and half of 15 is 7.5. So from your center front and from your center back, you measure 7.5. No, sorry, before we go to that one, let's go to the front width measurement, which is 12. Half of 12 from the center to one armhole is 6. So for the front is 6. You will soon see the use of this front width measurements. It will help us to shape our armhole. You do the same for the back. The back is what? The back width is 13. So half of 13 is 6.5. Half of 13 is 6.5. And this is 6.5. You also rule straight across. So what I normally do is, because of the shoulder slant, I have a constant 1 inch shoulder slant. So you bring it down at this point, 1 inch, and you do same here, 1 inch. So I told you I like doing extremes. When you use a straight ruler, it goes straight. From here, because this is the end of the front, and this is the end of the back. So you have that one line established. This is where the slant of the shoulder is going to rest upon. Next now is to take the shoulder measurements. And what is the shoulder measurement? That is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So from here we take 7.5. You mark it. You do the same here. 7.5. You also mark it. In my measurement class, I told you that from the neck point that joins the neck and the shoulder, you measure it to your shoulder point. That is 4.5. This is the reason. From here, so from this point, we measure that. That will give us how the neck will go. This is what I'm trying to say. 4.5 is our measurement. So from this mark that we have, you slant your 4.5 here. You know, people have different neck shapes. So you slant it here. You can add an ease. So this is like 2.5. So you can use that also to do this one, 2.5. So you already have the neck shape. Draw your shoulder slants. I'm sure this is trying to make sense now. For the back neck depth, we have a constance of 1 inch. That is constant. 1 inch is constant. So we can draw our neck curve there. So for the front, whatever you have measured here for the front, add half an inch for the neck depth in front. So this is 3. This one was 2.5. Add half an inch, it becomes 3. At this point, draw in your front neck width. So to a very large extent, I'm sure this is making sense. So from this point here, you can now curve your armhole. You can curve your armhole. Are we getting it? I'm sure it's making sense. So we already have the front and the back armhole and the neck point. Next, we'll move to the darts. But before we get to the darts, don't worry, the difference between the front and the back, I'll still show you how we'll do it. The next is the bust point. Bust point from the shoulder is 9.5. So you go straight to the beginning and you measure in 9.5. 9.5. You measure in 9.5. Okay, it's on this point. Then from center front to, so from the center front, we said bust point to bust point. That's from one bust to the other. Half of it is going to be 3.75. 3.75. So from here, you mark in 3.75, and that gives you your bust point. So this is the bust point. So we can have another 3.75 here to be sure, so that we have broken lines for the bust points. Broken lines. We have broken lines to show us our bust point. So this is the bust point. So what you do straight is the difference between So what we've done now, the difference between the front and the back is 1 inch. If you see 16 and 15, the difference is 1 inch. So you get a straight line here at the bust point level. It can be broken lines. It can be broken lines. So you now divide the 1 inch difference on this side, giving you half an inch on this side and half an inch on the side. Please note, this is not linked directly to the bust point. You give out like 2.5 or 2 inches, depends on how far. Then you put it here and you mark up the bust. And you mark up the bust. So this is either cut into a style or it is sewn. That is how it's going to match up with this. When it's sewn, it comes back to this measurement and it matches up with this. So now what do? We just don't put one measurement or the other. What is the difference between the bust and the waist? The bust is 36.5. The waist is 31. So the difference is 5.5. Because you know we are doing half of the body, half front and half back, we are going to divide 5.5 into 2. And that is going to give us 2.75. So we are going to be sharing 2.75 on these places. We'll have 1 inch here, and we can have 0.75 here and have half here. Let's see how it goes. 1 inch is here. Please, your dart is not going straight to the bust point. Give it at least like 3/4 of an inch down. Then you mark this up. As I was saying, so this is 1 inch here, and we are left with 1.75 inches for the difference between the waist and the bust. Now, from the center back to the back width, we have 6.5. Divide it by 2. So we have 3.25. You mark it here. The same thing happens here, 3.25. So that gives you the straight line for the back dart. It is not compulsory you put 1 inch at the back. No. So now, I will decide to put 0.75 here. So that will give me this and this. This is small. Yes. But I think the front needs the dart more than the back. So now, we are left with 1 inch. If you calculate, well, 1 inch, 0.75 inch, and now you have, here you have 0.5, and here you have 0.5. So you draw a straight line from the armhole to connect with the waist. That's the shape that we are giving it. So what you do next, try your best to cross-check the measurements, leaving out the darts. Don't calculate the darts to it. So let's see what it gives us. So when you do this, you pick it up and you follow here. I didn't count the darts. So you take this ends at 7.75. You take it, continue here. So we do this and we do this. So please bring it here. Bring it down so that they'll see it. This is 15.5, and our waist is what? Is 31. So 15.5 times 2 is 31. So that means this pattern is accurate. Any question, drop in the comment section. I'll be willing to answer. Thank you very much from King Zanda's Fashion Academy.